If this was your experience on the roads today, then you might be cheered up by news that Greater Manchester's in line for a share of £6 billion of government investment in transport.
Now, under this funding package, which was unveiled by the Secretary of State for Transport, Jeff Hoon, it's going to mean there's money to build an entirely new fourth lane between Junction 12 at the M602 and Junction 15 where the M60 meets the M61. But it's important to note that it's only going to be on the clockwise section of the M60, not the anti-clockwise section. Now, in addition to that, there's also going to be funding to introduce what's known as hard shoulder running. And that essentially means that when there is a lot of traffic on several major routes across Greater Manchester's orbital roads, there's going to be the use of the hard shoulder. Now, that's been used and introduced successfully already on other routes in the country, notably the M42 in the Midlands, where from time to time, according to the amount of traffic, the hard shoulder is brought into use as a normal motorway lane.
News of the scheme may cheer up motorists, but environmentalists are not happy.
Well, I think this announcement on transport, coupled with the announcement yesterday on Heathrow, basically shows that the government's turning its back on its own climate change targets. Its targets for climate change are to reduce CO2 emissions by about 80% by 2050. You can't do that while creating more capacity for planes and for cars.
Regardless of whether you're for or against this motorway expansion scheme, it's worth bearing in mind a general election is due in 2010, and it remains to be seen whether these plans will survive any possible change in government. Kevin Duffy for Channel N News.